The two ordinary hosts of this podcast are not professionals on parapsychology, extraterrestrials, cryptozoology, nor would they describe themselves as religious or prone to superstition. They'd also like to make it known that this show is not intended for children or those with sensitive sensibilities. Please listen at your own discretion. And remember, the truth is often anecdotal.
Hello, listeners. I am Mr. R.
And I'm Mr. X.
Paranormal dudes.
Reading paranormal stories.
Mr. X, how do you feel about historical accounts found in newspapers?
Well, today I'm feeling pretty good about it. So.
Should we address the situation?
Yeah. So this is supposed to be an episode featuring Mr. E, but as things go with conflicting schedules and stuff, Mr. E wasn't able to make it on, so we're pivoting so that we can have an episode out this week. We'll save what that theme was meant to be when he finally gets on. But yeah, today we're just going to do a little impromptu sesh, and Mr. R here has found a post with a bunch of articles that we're going to read through. So hopefully this is quote unquote content.
I mean, fingers crossed. I think it's actually going to be kind of entertaining. So this was posted in r/unresolved mysteries, which for some reason, it's never occurred to me that mysteries can be unresolved as opposed to unsolved.
Yeah.
But the headline of this, okay. The title of this post says another collection of creepy stories from the newspaper archives in celebration of Halloween. Features 9 unsolved mysteries, including the laughing burglar, a Sasquatch kidnapping, the phone stalker in Iowa, and the Houston Batman. So I don't know how many of these we're going to read. Probably not 9, but...
No, probably not 9 of them, but maybe we'll do 4 because they're pretty short.
Yeah.
Interesting. Some of these titles are pretty creepy. Let's just do the first 4. We'll archive this for ourselves, and then if ever we have to do another last minute recording, we can come back to this. We'll at least get 2 episodes out of this. So.
Sure.
Do you want to read a little introduction here from the poster?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Oh, sorry, this was flared as media/internet. It says, hello, everyone. Halloween is only a few days away at this point, so I'm sure you're all looking for the chance to be scared silly by stories of the mysterious and the unknown. So I decided to trawl through the newspaper archives for stories to fit the occasion. Unsurprisingly, the archives are teeming with tales that will unnerve you and make your skin crawl. So many that I had to spread them across 2 posts. You can find the first collection here with a hyperlink. In this post, you'll see several more unsolved stories from across the ages, including the story of a man held captive by a Sasquatch family, a poltergeist in Ottawa, a tale of 2 women terrorized by creepy phone calls and notes, and the mysterious Houston Batman. So settle in, flick off the lights, and, if you really want to set the ambiance, play the theme tune to the X-Files on repeat.
Well, we can't do that last one, but...
No, sadly.
I'm always sitting in the dark, so... Actually, I probably shouldn't be sitting in the dark. Let me turn on my light real quick. I'm sorry, you were saying you've never seen what?
Oh, I've never seen the X-Files, and I can't assume the theme song is very long.
It's, It's just a creepy theme song.
Sure.
It's extremely creepy for something that was on network television too. Well, okay. I guess let's just go in order of how
Sounds
these are posted here. So do you want to go first, or would you like me to?
The Laughing Burglar in California, I definitely want to read that one.
Okay. All right.
So,
go ahead.
Yes. The laughing burglar in California. Waking up in the middle of the night, discovering that your home has been invaded by a burglar is the stuff of nightmares. A footstep across the hallway, or the jostling of ceramic... What? The jostling of a ceramic ornament can seem like innocuous sounds, but in the middle of the night, in the darkness, they may be amongst the most terrifying sounds you can experience. One family in Oakland, California, in 1939, had such an early hours encounter, but in true terrifying fashion, their unwanted house guest went almost entirely undetected, even as he peered into their rooms and patted their heads, giggling all the while. Okay.
Oh,
So,
it does say
audience,
almost.
Yeah. Okay, but how do they know he was giggling if everyone was asleep and he was undetected?
Yeah.
This is these are going to be written in a much more kind of dramatic sense. So,
yeah, these aren't like personal accounts. But this is funny because now what I'm imagining is, I just imagine some creepy music playing. It's like creaking. We're following the silhouette of the man breaking in, right? And as soon as you hear like a breaking window, he like goes in, and it's just Seth Rogen fucking laughing as he's stealing shit. No, I can't even do this fucking laugh, but
okay.
Oh my god.
So it continues. The Grundstrom family's horrifying encounter began at 4:30 a.m. on March 28th. Nettie Grundstrom. Yeah, 4:30 a.m. Absolutely.
Yeah, people are waking up half an hour after that.
Yeah. Nettie Grundstrom woke and saw a smiling face peering at her from around the bedroom door. She smiled back, believing it was... She smiled back, believing it was one of her husband's relatives on a surprise visit. The leering visitor then paid a visit to the 8 children in turn, patting each of their heads as he went from bed to bed. And each child smiled back, assuming their father had come to lovingly check up on them. Bonnie Akridge, who had also been sleeping in the children's room, witnessed the intruder, but she too believed it was a friend of her brother-in-law's, and contentedly went back to sleep.
Right.
So was it just this easy to be in someone else's house back in the day?
Like in 1939, as long as you were white, I guess. I don't know.
I guess so. Okay. The mysterious intruder's final act was to revisit the bedroom of Charles and Nettie Grundstrom. This time, however, he did not remain at the door. He approached the sleeping outline of Charles and began slowly rifling through the man's pajama pockets. Do you see the way pajama is spelled?
Yeah. Pajama.
Yeah,
so
pajama.
Yeah, pajama. With the Y before the J.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how to spell pajama now. So.
You know, looking at it.
Knows? It looks right, yeah. It makes you question it.
Yeah. Okay, so rifling through the man's pajama pockets. But Mr. Grundstrom still did not react. He thought that one of his children had come to playfully pilfer his money. When his wife jokingly suggested that there may be a burglar, Charles laughed off at the notion and told her to go back to sleep. No, honey, don't be a fucking idiot. At that moment, guffawing laughter erupted from the bedside. Shocked, the couple rose from their beds just in time to see the figure sauntering out of the bedroom door, never to be seen again. Their nighttime intruder had stolen nothing, but he had left them with a panic they would never be able to easily shake.
Okay, well, hold on. This is titled The Laughing Burglar.
Yeah.
He was just rifling through his pajamas. One, you sleeping with money in your pajama pockets?
That's
is that better than a bank in 1939? I guess, but like, okay, so he was just fondling you then? Like, what was the point of all of that?
Yeah, there are worse things someone could do when breaking into your house. I do think that patting your children on the head and then putting his hands into your pockets while you sleep that's a step in the wrong direction for sure. But this man's not a burglar.
No. Oh my God. I think the first comment is in reference to this story. I think. Okay, yeah. So the first comment on here says, "What in the hell? The laughing burglar story is beyond messed up. Thought it was a relative visiting out of nowhere in the middle of the night and grinning at you for the door without saying anything. Thinking their father is acting all weird and then patting them on the head in pitch blackness while checking on them. Not waking up with when someone is rifling through your pants because you think it's your children." Like, his family is as weird as the intruder. LOL. Yes. Yeah. I think that's pretty accurate. Someone responded to that saying, "That's exactly what I was thinking. They're as strange as the would-be burglar. Their responses were so odd. Why would anybody just assume a relative had turned up and let themselves in the middle of the night?" Anyway, then going on to everyone's room, patting their heads, giggling. LOL, what? Is that what people did in those days? So weird. Well, I gotta be honest, if it was Seth Rogen going room to room, just smiling at you like, yeah, I'd probably just be like, oh, okay.
Oh, Seth's here.
He's a very unassuming laugh, right? You hear that laugh and you don't think it's diabolical. You think it's
not malicious at all, no.
Yeah. You're like, oh, hello.
You must be related to me.
They kept saying the middle of the night, but it's 4:30 a.m. So many people are getting up for work at that time. Like, you would just assume, like, oh, maybe the dad's awake and this is a relative or something. Yeah. Who is Nettie? Nettie, I believe, was the wife. Oh, okay, yeah, it was the wife. Okay. So she literally just sees this person as like, oh, he's probably related to my husband. You have several children. You don't know what your husband's family looks like?
I mean, I don't know, 1930s. Again, like, it's like there was mail. Like, it's not like it would have been super common to just show up without anybody knowing.
Yeah. I don't know. People back in the day were definitely off. So I don't know. I guess I can't really judge. We hear plenty of stories that aren't this weird that also come off just as weird, you know?
Yeah.
Women weren't allowed to have their own bank accounts back then. I think they were allowed to vote at that time, but it was pretty new, so.
Very recent.
Okay. That first story was pretty odd, a little spine tingly for sure. It's just a creepy ass thing to imagine. But let's take a quick ad break and then we'll move on to the next story. All right, the next story on here has a pretty chilling headline. It says, "Headless woman in the Foot Locker." Oh my gosh. Okay. I think Foot Lockers are scary. I can't imagine seeing someone without a head in there.
Yeah.
And you would think that a ghost haunting a Foot Locker, which is what I'm imagining this is because I haven't read this story yet. You'd imagine the ghosts, you know, headless person, you think of the Headless Horseman looking for his head after losing it in battle. You would imagine, I don't know, a shoeless ghost in a Foot Locker. Or maybe even a footless ghost. I don't know.
A footless ghost. I guess most ghosts, like Casper, didn't have any feet, right?
Yeah. Just a little squiggly tail on there. It's like the Flying Dutchman in SpongeBob with the one sock, right?
Exactly, yes.
So the headless woman in the Foot Locker. Most of us, whilst adventuring in the wilderness, would have been hit by similar worries. Being stalked, getting lost, being attacked, or finding something truly horrific. Most times these concerns are unfounded. Sometimes they are not. In 1987, deep in a remote region of St. Louis, Missouri, a deep remote region in St. Louis? What does that mean?
Yes.
Anyways, 73-year-old Dave Cross came across an unthinkable scene. As he was seeking fresh soil for his garden, he spotted a strange black footlocker nestled just off the grave road. Okay, all right.
Yeah, there it is.
An actual footlocker, like at the end of a
were you thinking a store?
Bedpost. Yeah. 1987, I'm pretty sure footlocker was around.
Yeah.
Okay. So this already is taking on a much sinister
for sure. Anybody, not just headless, anybody in a footlocker.
Yeah, any body in a footlocker, any head in a footlocker. Like, what the fuck? Okay. As he's seeking fresh soil for his garden, he spotted a strange black footlocker nestled just off the gravel road. It had been tightly compacted and secured with a nylon strap. Naturally curious, okay, if you see anything that's kind of off somewhere where it shouldn't be, just call the cops. Don't traumatize yourself, man.
You're going to have a bad time.
Naturally curious, Cross decided to open the locker and peer at its contents. But when he removed the binding, the disturbing truth presented itself. Inside the 3 feet. Inside the 3-foot locker was the mutilated body of a dead woman. St. Charles County Sheriff soon descended on the gruesome scene, which was located 3/4 of a mile from the intersection of Duke and Terry Roads. Forensic specialists were also dispatched to examine the footlocker on site. The body inside the locker had been decapitated, and both legs had been removed just below the knees. Okay, well, I guess.
Oh my God, she was footless.
Yeah, footless woman in the footlocker. The unidentified woman's hands were also missing. None of the missing limbs were found in or around the footlocker. Officers determined that the woman had been killed between 24 to 48 hours before the locker was discovered. Cross stated that he had passed the same spot a day earlier and had not seen the footlocker. The locker had been dumped recently, and the killer had simply vanished without a trace. Police officers were initially concerned that the body may have belonged to missing teenager Diana Brungard, who had disappeared after leaving her part-time job days earlier. These suspicions were soon discounted. A forensic autopsy was also sought, although it does not seem that much pertinent information was provided as a result, nor does it seem that the missing body parts were ever recovered. Who was the woman whose life came to an early end, and what transpired to lead her to such a gruesome fate? Okay, definitely one of the most horrific stories we've ever read on this show.
Yeah, very gruesome and not very funny.
No, not at all. There is a similar story. I can't remember what it was. This guy was working, and as he approached like a dumpster, or maybe he was just trying to throw something out, but he approached a dumpster. No, it wasn't a dumpster. It was the side of the highway. He noticed a body, and people who find dead bodies will often say, like, I thought it was a mannequin at first. This guy wasn't going to risk it. This guy saw what looked like a body, immediately backed away, called the police. The police show up. Turns out it was a discarded sex doll. And yeah, the police, it was a whole thing. Like news articles are coming out and stuff, and they're like, what people thought was a body ended up being a sex doll. Who would just toss this? And I think it was like partially buried, which was another reason why it was so concerning. And a guy had to come forward and be like, yeah, that was my sex doll. Like I didn't know how to discard of it. Because it would be weird to throw what looks like a body into a dumpster too, right? Like,
yeah.
You can't just put that in your apartment complex dumpster. You might get some raised eyebrows.
Was it inflatable?
No. It was like one of those high-end dolls.
Okay. Well, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Because my first thing would be like, make it look as little like a body as possible.
Yeah, the inflatable ones, you just pop it and you fold it and
throw it in your trash can.
Into a trash bag or something, yeah. Yeah, this is... Don't fucking open random things like containers that you find on the side of the road. I say, as we one time in Philly while apartment hunting came across a chest that we were
my God, we did.
Oh, cool. Opened it up. It was completely empty, luckily.
Yeah.
But
oh, that's so funny. I still have that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's I think it's currently holding a blanket. I think a really big blanket.
He actually put something in there. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, let me see if there's any comments regarding this one.
I couldn't find any regarding this one. In fact, the only ones I could find were about the very first story and then the night crawlers.
Well, yeah, I can't. This one was kind of a bummer. I can't imagine anybody would want to comment on it, except to maybe say don't open random containers out in the wild. Especially if they're wrapped up, man. If it's like taped up, and this guy didn't smell
thing
anything.
Got closed for a reason. Oh, that's a good point.
He said he walked by the day before and it hadn't been there, so you definitely would have been able to smell something, unless it was you, I guess. But I think even you would be able to smell decomposition. Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Well, okay. Fuck. Let's. This is a pretty short one. There's not much else to say about it. So let's just take another quick ad break, and then we'll move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Okay. You get another fun title here. You read the bummer true crime one, and you get this one. All right.
So in celebration of our 50th episode, we did a Bigfoot themed episode. And now I get to read a story called "Man Held Captive by Sasquatch Family." That's so exciting. I want to know. Well, I guess we'll get into it, but like.
The first thing I see is 1924. So I'm guessing this is... Well, again, these are all pretty old-timey, I guess, if you include the 80s and 90s. But, okay, yeah, let's see what happened in 1924 with a guy in a Sasquatch family.
The first thing I think of is the Star Wars Christmas special or holiday special.
Yeah.
That's what I imagine the Sasquatch family looks like. Okay. Sasquatch sightings have been occurring across the globe for decades, typically involving humanoid figures wandering through desolate woodland. These observations are usually fleeting with no prolonged form of contact. But this isn't always the case. In 1924, Albert Ostman was wandering alone through the woods of Fort Langley, Columbia. It was summer. The air was warm and alluring. He was on a prospecting trip about 75 miles north of the Toba Inlet.
Okay.
All appeared to be going well, but in the middle of the night, as Ostman dozed off in his sleeping bag, he realized he was not as alone as he thought. A mysterious assailant pulled the bag tight around Ostman's neck, scooped him over his shoulder, and carried him away. What follows is the terrifying story of Ostman's week-long captivity in the hands of what he claimed was a family of Sasquatches.
Oh, okay. Wait, hold on. Before you keep going, I gotta look up. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Do you remember what the name of that Bigfoot movie I sent you was called? Shit, what was it called?
No, the religious one?
Yeah, there's like a religious family that makes religious movies, and I wish I could remember what their names were. Dear listener, You might think to yourself after hearing a few episodes, man, this guy can't remember shit. It's usually because I wake up 30 minutes before we record these.
It's true, yes.
And I operate off of a single cup of coffee. But it's Ashley something, man. But there's this woman, she likes to make religious movies and force her family to be in it, which is usually her bald-ass husband and their 3 very strange-looking children, none of whom can act. And she definitely can't write or direct, but they make a shit ton of movies, and a lot of them are Bigfoot themed. Honestly, there's another podcast, God Awful Movies. They covered this specific Bigfoot movie, which is what inspired me to look it up and then discover that Tubi is littered with these things. And and it made me want to start a whole nother podcast just to go through those. But so this woman forces her family to make these movies, right? Now imagine back in 1924, you had a very similar woman, but movies weren't as accessible because they're just coming into vogue. So instead she forces her family to dress up as Sasquatch and kidnap men in the forest and spend a week with them. So,
okay, is the name of the woman Ashley Hayes Wright?
Yes, the Wright family.
Yes.
That's what it is. Yeah, it's just Ashley's great grandmother forcing her family to do something very similar.
There you go. Yeah, if you look at her IMDb, she has 61 credits. I think most of them or all of them are directing.
Yeah. Okay. So literally, they own like a ranch somewhere in, I think, maybe Texas, and they have a domestic animal rescue. So like farm animals and stuff, they'll rescue them, and they just go live on their land or whatever. And aside from that, she just forces her family to make these really terrible, cheaply produced movies in which usually nothing happens. And they've done like 60 of them because they shoot it in a week, have it edited in a week, and they just put it up on Tubi. I can't imagine they make a shit ton of money off of that, but I think because they're always religiously themed, and somehow they make Bigfoot like a Christian themed thing. Well, especially like a conservative kind of Christian sort of thing, because other movies are like littered with guns and stuff like that. But Bigfoot, Grip of the Monster, I think is literally the one.
This is the one.
I try to get you to watch it. Yeah. In this movie, this is how cheap the budgets are. In this movie, the sheriff just wears a shirt that says sheriff on it. They couldn't even get him a badge or anything. So, okay, we're definitely gonna have to make this podcast, and this is gonna be the first episode for sure. Yeah. So, let's continue with the story here.
Okay,
it's only two more paragraphs,
continues.
but yeah.
Okay. Ostman, bound within his sleeping bag, was carried off to a cave-like shelter beneath a rock cliff. He described his assailant as being old, 7 feet tall, and weighing between 500 to 600 pounds.
Jesus.
Two more beings were present at the cave. An older woman, described as being 6 feet tall, and a young female, also around 6 feet tall. All were covered with short hair and completely naked. The 3 were definitely human, according to Ostman, but primitive in nature. Additionally, he did not describe his assailants as being hostile. I'm sorry? This man was just kidnapped. After he was brought back to the shelter, he was left alone to live and dine with them on a diet of nuts and fruit. Meat, however, was not on the menu. The man's captives also spoke in a chattering type of speech, used blankets made of woven cedar bark, and never used a fire. The kidnappers weren't hostile, but if Ostman attempted to leave, the older male physically obstructed the exit. Ostman needed to devise another method of escape. After 7 days of being held at the cave, Ostman was desperate to escape. He had been carrying a tin of tobacco at the time he was abducted in his sleeping bag. One day, after he withdrew the tin, the older male Sasquatch appeared curious. Ostman handed him the tin. Oh, that's the end of the sentence. Ostman handed him the tin. In one gulp, the man consumed the entire contents. He became violently sick moments later, opening an opportunity for escape. Oh, man, these are hard to read for some reason. He became violently sick moments later, opening an opportunity for Osman to escape. Osman gathered his belongings and successfully fled to the shelter. Fled the shelter. What happened to him and who his mysterious abductors were remained a mystery.
Okay. It's like, an opportunity for escape. Let me just grab my things real quick. Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm
it
not
says he
doing
gathered
anything.
his belongings, but like...
All right, guys, I'm sorry I made you
was-
super sick. Let me just get out of here. So,
Hey, sorry, better
a little
skedaddle, huh?
anticlimactic, huh? But I guess in real life, things usually play out that way, right? Okay.
I mean, you could probably do something similar just by like, I don't know, like handing a Bigfoot an iPad.
Yeah, nowadays you're just like, what would you put on to distract I guess just the history of YouTube. You start with Charlie Bit My Finger and make your way up, I guess, to distract them and then get the fuck out of there. So, not really described as kind of Sasquatches, except for the fact that this man was old, 7 feet tall, and weighed 500 to 600 pounds.
That's pretty insane.
Yeah, you'd have to be a solid wall.
Like, I mean, there are people out there that exist, who are 7 feet tall. They don't weigh anywhere close to 500 pounds.
They're usually pretty thin because it's hard for their body to absorb nutrients. And then, there's people who exist that are 500 to 600 pounds. They're the opposite, right? They're like too large to do anything. So
like their bones have to like compress together.
This man is probably just conflating some stuff, making it up as he goes. Because the two female members of the family were described as normal, 6 feet tall. The other one was they were both 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
Wait, so how can you tell one was older and the other one was younger?
Maybe the older one had gray body hair.
I'm imagining that they weren't as hairy as we would imagine, like a Sasquatch, right? You could probably see like wrinkles and stuff forming. Like, yes, the older one.
Well, I mean, most primates don't have hairy faces, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at a picture of Bigfoot right here. And at least his cheeks his cheeks going up through his like hairline, I guess, cover most of his face.
Well, I'm looking
obviously
at a
this
picture
isn't
of Harry from Harry and the Hendersons, and pretty bald forehead on that guy.
Oh yeah, he's got a pretty big ass. Oh my gosh. Like, obviously there's not an actual picture of Bigfoot, but like,
no.
Yeah, Harry from Harry and the Hendersons looks he looks more like a primate, right? He doesn't have like a mustache technically, but he does look like he has facial hair.
Yes.
Huh.
It kind of has a Fu Manchu kind of thing going on.
Yeah. But a week?
Yeah, that's a long time.
7 days.
The folks, I challenge you to eat nothing but fruits and nuts for a week.
Well, you definitely wouldn't be constipated anymore. So
That's it's true.
What is this that you just posted in the chat here?
If you scroll down on Google like just far enough, you'll find this image, which seems to be like a painting, like a Bob Ross painting.
Yeah.
That someone painted over to depict a Sasquatch, Bigfoot, walking through a shallow river. He is wearing a hempen rope with a collection of skulls on one side, a massive knife in the other side.
Yeah, it looks like a machete.
Dual wielding.
He's dual wielding machine guns.
Some nondescript future weapon.
Yeah. There's one belt-fed machine gun on one side
yeah.
and a magazine-fed one on the other side. And he's just shooting them in the air and
he's
yelling.
excitedly snarling.
Now that I can imagine running into in the woods and being like, okay, I guess I won't get a picture this time.
I guess I'm eating some berries.
Walk off. I did see a comment in relation to this one. Okay. It says, the Sasquatch, this is in quote, the quote-unquote Sasquatch one is interesting. He was adamant they were human, not some kind of large ape. Bigfoot quote-unquote researchers routinely take stories of wild men and such that were always presented as human and have tried to make it into something else. Even the word Sasquatch originally referred to a tribe that was just more primitive and brutal than the tribe that coined the term. It almost sounds like he encountered an uncontacted tribe or a family of feral humans. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. It just sounded like some wilder people. See, the OP does respond to them and says, this is what I think too. It was likely some family that had lived in the woods their entire life, never coming into contact with wider civilization. How did just a random guy living in the woods come across a random woman living in the woods and then they had a child, you know?
Unless they were brother and sister.
Maybe they were in a plane. Well, that was 1924. Maybe they got lost out there somehow. Or it was just two abandoned babies in the woods that somehow came together. And it was 1924. Who fucking knows, right?
Yeah. Sounds like two hairy babies met each other in the woods, grew up, fell in love, had themselves a daughter, little hairy daughter. Yep. And the daughter needed a boyfriend.
The baby somehow grew to 7 feet and 500 pounds, and the woman somehow also grew to 6 feet. I guess when you're not constrained by clothing, it's easier to grow.
When you're not constrained by processed meats, there's no telling what the body can do.
Yeah, meat, not good for you. Nuts and berries. That's how you get
nuts and berries is where it's at. That's where all the protein is.
Protein, fat, it's got everything. Let's see, that original commenter continued here. It said, the weaving blankets out of cedar bark is an interesting point that Bigfoot researchers always seem to leave out. That's a level of planning and tool use never before seen by animals, but it is something people did all the time before modern textiles. From baskets to fish traps to hats, people used to weave natural materials into whatever they needed. They used to use certain bark as shingles, and I even read a book about an early settler who was described as having a shirt made of hickory bark. It was fiction, so I don't know how accurate it was, but it also sounds like the worst shirt ever. You're probably fun at parties, guy, right?
Yeah.
He's just like, well, actually. But yeah, I mean, don't primates use tools? Like, I'm sure they're not weaving themselves clothes and stuff.
Primitively, but yeah.
I don't know, but I don't think this was a Bigfoot family.
No.
It's probably just a bunch of feral people, I guess. I don't know.
Just some feral folk.
Yeah, just the wilder folk in the 1920s Canada. Is that where this took place?
It could probably take place yesterday, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay.
We don't know what's out there.
Let's take one more ad break before we go on to our last story here. And hopefully it's not a fucking bumper.
Yeah.
All right, the last story for this episode, but not the last one in this bunch. Well, unfortunately, we're not getting to the Houston Batman in this one.
Do you want to? You don't have to read the next one.
Let me see. Yeah, no, let's go ahead and do this one because it feels a little more paranormal than the Houston Batman. So this one is titled The Poltergeist in Apartment B. It simply wouldn't be Halloween without a ghost story to play on the imagination. It's not Halloween, guys. It's like the first week of March, or the last week of February. But obviously this is a collection for Halloween. So such stories are the bedrock of horror movies and campfire tales across the world. A simple, innocent way to make your skin crawl. Unless, of course, you're the one to whom it's happening. In Ottawa, 1992, Kathy Kane and her 10-year-old daughter were living in apartment B on St. Lawrence Boulevard. There's only one apartment complex in that whole boulevard, I guess. Life seemed to have been going well. Then, in the early hours of one Saturday morning, everything changed. The terrifying events of that morning began with mysterious knocking sounds at the back door. You have a back door in your apartment? Kane, her daughter Kim, and her friend Diana went to investigate the scene, expecting to see a human visitor. Nobody was there. The knocking sounds evolved into loud thumping, terrifying Kane's daughter and perplexing the adult women. If that wasn't spooky enough, pictures then began to collapse from the walls. Plants tipped over in various rooms. The floor started to shake as though in the grips of an earthquake. The house seemed to have come alive with activity, terrifying the occupants enough to report the events to the police. Officers promptly attended the property and corroborated what the women had been claiming. Whilst they were there, the banging continued. The floor continuously shook, and a chair flipped over in one of the rooms. I'm starting to get a little theory here. Staff Sergeant Andy Avery heard no voices, but he could see what had generated the complaint. In one instance, an officer replaced a vase on a table moments before it was set, soaring across the room. Searches of the house found no cause for the disturbances. The police closed the case, having never explained what occurred at the apartment. Okay. 2 local astrologers, however, did have an explanation. The events, they believed, had been caused by mischievous poltergeist activity. Additionally, obvious theories of weather disturbances were immediately discounted. Jean Auclair from Environment Canada reported that there were no tornadoes in the area that morning or detectable earth tremors. Also, if there had been an earthquake, it would have been felt by more people nearby. It sounds like a haunted house, she claimed. Could this truly have been the case? Whatever the cause, the events of that morning were terrifying enough to cause Kathy Kane and her daughter to vacate the apartment. They vowed never to set foot inside the building again, fearing what would happen if they did. The truth about the eventful morning inside apartment B went unanswered, which remains the case today. Okay, I do have a sensible theory. And if they just immediately left and never returned to the apartment, it probably would have never been explained to them. I think they were about to experience a major plumbing snafu.
Oh?
Yeah. So, okay, at first they heard knocking from the back. Mysterious knocking sounds. So not not someone knocking on the door, just knocking sounds, right? When they went, there was nobody there, and then the knocking sounds evolved into loud thumping, right? And then that eventually turned into what they described as tremors, but it's just vibrations, right?
Right.
Yeah, I think their sewage line was about to completely fail and back up. I don't know if you've ever experienced any kind of obviously, we had the whole thing in Philly,
right.
which was a blockage, right? But I recently, I have 2 bathrooms in my apartment, and one of them a little while ago started, whenever you'd flush it, would start vibrating violently, and it was so loud you could hear it from across the apartment, and I was worried that it was affecting our neighbors below too, so we didn't use it until we got it fixed. I don't actually know what the solution was because they fixed it while I wasn't home, but it was a pretty quick fix. This sounds like more of a major issue if it's affecting the whole house. They would explain why things are getting knocked over and stuff like that, right? Yeah, I mean, they didn't stick around. The landlord was probably like, oh, it's a good thing they got out of here because this is going to be costly. The only thing that wouldn't explain is the cop saying that he put a vase up and it flew across the room.
Yeah.
Probably not the case. He's probably just adding on to
I think it's what's the term whenever things are weird, but you want to make them like crazier? There's a term that sucks.
I don't want to use the term mass hysteria.
No.
But it's just definitely people compounding on top of it. It's just funny though. These cops are probably like, "Oh, this is a nice little break." They show up and they're like, "Oh, this is weird," and then they just
sensationalized.
Sensationalizing it.
Sensationalized.
It just doesn't. I don't know. It just doesn't sound like ghosts to me. I mean, I guess at first when I don't know. I guess if you've never experienced like a major plumbing snafu, you might just be like, "Oh, ghost." It was an earthquake in just that apartment.
Yeah, the first time I ever lived alone, I heard everything, right? And it was just like, but I didn't think it was ghosts. I just thought everything was wrong.
Yeah, we have these friends who used to live in these same apartments that we're in right now, and they moved because they had to take on one of their fathers. So they went and got like a big town home, and we were helping them move in, and the first day that we're there helping them move in, I asked to use the bathroom. They're like, yeah, it's just right over there, the other side of the kitchen. I go in, I use the bathroom, whatever, wash my hands. When I come out, you could just hear the entire house vibrating. Like, it's just like a loud, like, and it you could feel it too. And we were like, what is that? And they were like, yeah, apparently anytime you use the water, anytime you use a sink in the house, it doesn't matter what sink it is, the whole house vibrates with the water going through the pipes. And I was like, that is unfortunate. Like,
how very
it's like one of those things that you're not going to know because you're not going to use the bathroom like while touring a house, right? A tour usually takes like 10 minutes. And I was just like, well, now you're stuck with this for at least a year, right? Until you decide to move out or whatever. So yeah, that's the first thing that comes to mind. It's just like a plumbing issue. That
and you might be right.
Yeah. Well, okay, hold on. Is there any comments?
Don't trust the P in apartment B.
James Vanderbeek, R.I.P. I guess he was in that show. I never watched that show, the Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
Let's see. Yeah, James Vanderbeek was in it.
Yeah. I think he played himself, from what I understand.
He did. I'm looking at the cast.
Okay, let's see. I'm just trying to find a comment that we could possibly end on. Most people are obsessed with the burglar story, but that also makes me think that that's the only one that they read.
They read, yeah.
Let's see. Someone here says, I know in real life, this kind of stuff is not funny at all, but the whole laughing burglar thing would make fantastic scene for some comedy movie. No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I think even if you tried to make a movie with Seth Rogen being like, I get like kind of like Fun with Dick and Jane, where he's like, I guess I got to start robbing people's houses. It's still
he can't move forward with it because he's too busy laughing. He got too high before breaking into someone's house.
Yeah, I think it still would be kind of unsettling. Someone else here said the laughing burglar story gives the family's address at the end, which made me cackle. I tried clicking on the links because these all have links to
I can't get
to the
it.
stories. No, anytime I click on it, it just keeps buffering. So it's not. There's no way to actually see the actual article, which I'm guessing means that this person is just writing like kind of a summary. It's not exactly the story, although there might be some bits that are actually straight from the article. But it says it gave the family's address, but this was all the way back in 1939. So are you gonna go bug the family? Well, okay. This was interesting. It is fun to do something different every once in a while.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to end us out on here?
No, I did post. Oh no, I guess I didn't. Oh shit. Okay, well, Well, the short answer is no. Oh, wait, you know what? Actually, let's try this. I did want to, unless you have an idea.
Oh, no, go ahead. I mean, we're still less than an hour, so we can try a couple of things if you want. Because what I have here is, I don't know if this would work, because it'd just be a bunch of links, but I just went into Ask Reddit, and the first thing that popped up was from 7 years ago, but it said, what's the creepiest Ask Reddit thread you've come across? And this person says, there was one I saw a while ago where it was Doctors of Reddit, what's the worst injury you've ever seen, or something like that. I read a haunting story about a year-old girl who got her lips numbed at the dentist and chewed her entire bottom lip off. Okay, I guess let's not do this.
Oh,
what do you
that's
got?
awful. Okay. I'm posting this in media.
Oh, okay. Let me click on this link. On eBay, we got a haunted Durst funeral home phone, ghost-linked landline, paranormal vintage. Okay. This is on auction. It's going... Well, is it on auction? No, it has a buy now option. So it says they're asking for $1,300, $1,350, which you could put on Klarna for a convenient $83 a month. Durst Funeral Home. Now, is this supposed to be a known place? It's got like a little sticker on top that says, it just says Durst Family Home. It says R. Mara Durst, director. It's got a phone number without an area code. So that's how you know this is old timey.
Very old.
On one side it says fire, police, ambulance, 911, which if you didn't know, the 911 number wasn't established until like the 70s.
Right.
And then it says, Garrett, Colorado, Memorial Hospital.
Oh, look at that. What? I didn't notice that.
Yeah. Although then it also has Maryland. It also has Maryland Poison Center. So I don't know.
Well, good. So
is there a description?
Scroll down to the bottom. There's an item description from the seller.
Okay, hell yeah. Okay, item description. Straight out of a closed funeral home and humming with that held breath energy, only objects from the threshold seem to keep. That was just a sentence.
Yeah.
This vintage Teletone landline survived years answering calls no living person wanted to make. The handset still carries the original Durst Funeral Home numbers, ghostly coordinates to a place heavy with final conversations. The plastic is aged, the keypad worn down by trembling hands, and the lines itself feel like it remembers things. No restoration, no cleansing, no guarantees of silence at night. If you're building a horror collection, a paranormal archive, or you want a centerpiece that makes guests uncomfortable in a way they can't describe, this is it. Sold as found, static may contain more than static.
What?
Open to offers, the cool kind, not the insulting kind. Haunted phone, cursed relic, funeral home artifact, paranormal prop, horror decor, occult vintage, supernatural objects, ghost phone, weird, ephemera. I think those were meant to be hashtags, but none of them were hashtags. So.
Yeah. Well, I think if you search for anything on eBay, like, because there aren't hashtags on eBay, it'll just associate. So like, if you type in paranormal,
it's meant
prop,
to be like
this will show
SEO
up.
or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what I mean? This is just kind of assuming, right? It says, where is it? The keypad worn down by trembling hands. I don't think the people working the funeral home's hands were trembling. I'm pretty sure they were just like, hello, dead guy?
Yeah.
On my way. Yeah. Especially in the 70s, especially in Colorado. Those people don't give a fuck.
Mm-mm.
Let's see. Who's the seller here? Buckets or Boxes Bodega. They have a 99.7% positive feedback. Their little bio here simply says, the world is full of unique treasures. All of the items for sale on the store are sourced from North Colorado. I have pretty eclectic taste, so keep coming back to find all the funky new, used, and vintage items I come across. A few little seller feedbacks here. The records were shipped in a timely manner and the packaging was great. The album's look and sound, just as described. They were also a fantastic value. Overall, very happy with the purchase, and it was an A-plus transaction. Fantastic seller. Another person here says, smooth transaction, good communication, great packaging, fast shipping, items as described, A+++. I now have 5 ghosts in my house. That wasn't on there. There was a little mix-up, but the seller was very generous with me. Totally cool. Easy to communicate with. Package received in a timely manner as well. Happy with purchase. Yeah. So I guess it's not all ghost stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. Maybe... No, I'm not spending $1,300 on a...
No. Like, as a joke, this would be like a really funny thing to get for the show.
Yeah.
But not for this price.
Yeah, no, this podcast has only made like $20, so... Yeah, it's probably going to be a while before we can afford some haunted memorabilia. We probably need like a separate office to keep that stuff, because I'm not keeping it in my apartment. Well, okay, I guess that's going to have to do it for this impromptu episode. This really was just like a last minute thing. So, probably not going to be an episode next week because I will be traveling out of the country. So, won't be able to carry my podcasting setup to record something. I could try it remote, but I'll also be on backwards time. So,
backwards time.
Yeah, I would either have to wake up super early to do it, or I don't know, something like that. I don't know what the time zone is. All I know is that I'm usually up at nights and my brother is usually awake at the same time. So,
well, then you should be
fine. Yeah. Well, okay. Let's wrap this up.
Okay, that's gonna do it for this. I guess historical newspaper hunting episode. I would like to say thank you to Dale Spalding and Ender Music for our intro, as well as Sean over at OhThatSean.com for our podcast art. But thank you for listening. It was awesome. I hope you enjoyed it. I did. If you have any suggestions for spooky subreddits, websites, or even just a story you'd like us to read from, go ahead and drop those suggestions in the comments, or you can send them directly to us for this show at PONDPOD on Reddit.
Yeah. And if you're enjoying the show, you can do a couple of things for us, such as leave a 5-star rating and review or comment on whatever platform you listen on. You can also check out some of the other shows we do, such as Sequel Factory, where we watch a movie and pitch an idea for a sequel that nobody asked for, with our good friend Jet Kuso. And you can catch Mr. R and Mr. E on the Dirty 22 for some D&D fun. We've been a Paranormal Dudes, ever in need of stories to intrigue, perplex, maybe even frighten. So remember, if you can't explain it, it definitely isn't just a random relative dropping in the middle of the night. Until next time, stay tuned.
Never think
and stay
that.
Haunted. Yeah, never. Why would you think
never
that?
Ever assume that.
Oh my God. All right, bye everybody.
Bye.